Hey, John, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, do we have any questions for John?
Yeah, JT, we saw you get a Pro Football Focus, I think was the first team defensive nod this week. How do you feel about just your overall play to this point?
Oh man, I feel great. I feel really good. I feel really comfortable just being able to uh just to be so confident in this defense. I think just me knowing my job and knowing my assignment so well, it just allows me to go play freely on game days and stuff. And um I feel really good out there.
What's made the difference for you? You feel like you playing because I know we talked about you in the past playing defensive end growing up, but what's the difference for you at defensive tackle? What's made it you so effective?
Uh I think just my aggressiveness. I think just me just loving to hit, loving to play violently, uh, us being able to be up there and, just being in a dogfight. I think that's when my best element comes out and like do a little bit of talking too. So um, I think just being inside and being able to hit every play and being able to see my squat rack versus their squat rack, I think I'm just able to be comfortable in that environment.
Yeah, JT, lots being made of how the schedule's ramping up, getting tougher for you guys. Is that a topic of conversation in the locker room? And does Arizona kind of fit that bill as kind of a step up in competition now?
I mean, of course, every week, we don't look at any other team or every week as different. Every week we always know we're gonna get their best shot and we're always gonna give our best shot. So I think the mindset doesn't really change on who we're playing or what team is in front of us. We just attack the week the same. Just try to go 1-0 every single week and just heading towards um the second half of the season. Very excited about the competition. Very excited about the teams that we're going against, and really get to prove to the nation what type of team we are.
Yeah, JT, going up against Arizona, just give us your overall assessment what you expect from the Wildcats.
Um, Obviously, I played them against them last year, but just watching a little bit of film on them. I know we're gonna get more into it with the meetings and stuff today, but just watching their game versus Oklahoma State, um, they look good. They look good, and I know um, they're gonna come with their best shot against us, especially what happened last year. Um, their interior looks good. They have a good old line, and of course, they got a very experienced quarterback um, back there who's to make good decisions, good throws, and excited to go against him again. And the run game looks solid, so excited for the competition this week.
Do you remember playing against Noah Fafita last year? And do you have any familiarity with him in terms of what you expect from him, or even from maybe growing up watching him?
Well, just what is what is going off of last year, we know that he's a really big scrambler and he's really good on his feet. He's fast. He can make throws on the run and stuff. So uh, we expect him to leave the pocket and everything. So um, we know he's very experienced playing at that program for as long as he was there. So we know he's going to come with his A game against us. So we're going to bring ours too.
John, you've been afforded the opportunity in the entire defense of an opposing offense starting within their own 5 yard line because of Sam's punting. What's it do for defense having that luxury, and how does that motivate you and maybe inspire you guys?
Man, that always gets us hyped. Just being as a defense man, to seeing that ball on their own 5 yard line and having them backed up, we always tell ourselves, man, let's go score some points on defense because we always know when we have Sam having a great punt back there, we always know we can always go get 2 points. So just having that field position that we're always able to start with, man, it's very hard for our offense to, especially against us, to drive 97 yards against us. So, man, it's a big blessing to have Sam as our punter, the Aussie guy. So, man, he's great.
JT, I wanted to ask you a little bit about kind of your journey to BYU and settling in as one of the veteran guys in the room on that D line. But I got to do some capital J journalism first because I've always wondered about your social media handle, Nonsense. I think
Yeah, yeah,
Nonsense. There's a number on it too. Nonsense 03. I feel
yeah.
like I feel like there's a story there how you came up with it. Is there anything there?
So I'm a Tongan guy. I'm 100% Tongan, and my English name is John, but in Tongan my name is None. So that's how I know a lot of people get confused when they see that stuff and everything, but the way it's spelled in English is spelled none, so it looks kind of weird and stuff. But it's the none since '03. Uh, that was the day I was born, not not the day, the year I was born. I was born in '03, and then that's just my Tongan name, None. So um, I just kept it ever since, and I know a lot of people they always get confused by that, but hopefully when I just got a chance to explain it, hopefully they know now.
I figured it was a reference like none yards allowed since '03 or something like that. But I didn't know that your Tongan name was None though. We may have to get that over the PA before
Yeah.
your time is up here.
Yes, sir.
One of your tackles or something, None Taumoepeau. But
Yes,
how
sir.
how would you just kind of describe sort of how you've settled in here at BYU as one of the rare carryovers on that defensive line from last year to this year, and you're kind of one of the veterans in that room.
Man, that's really weird to say that I'm one of the veterans of the team. But man, it is a blessing to be around this program for another year. Just seeing the way how things are done, you know, especially my first year, I had two great mentors, John Nelson and Blake Mangelston. Love those boys to death. I had two great mentors from those two who they taught me everything about BYU and they taught me everything about this defense and how it should be ran, how it should be played on the field, and just how we do things on the defensive side. So, just carrying that on to this year and you know, um, uh, being one of the starters on the defense and being one of the leaders on defense, you know, I just take everything to heart. It's the BYU culture and the program and everything. I just try to lead by example. I'm not really like a big talker or anything like that. Like to talk with my helmet and everything, but just being one of the guys in the locker room with experience, I just like to lead by example.
All right, that's all the questions we've got. Thank you, John.
Thank you, guys.
Evan, I know you're right in the middle of it. Tanner Wall's interception. You got to try to get your hand up and get that. Just take us through what all happened on that play.
Yeah, so I got double move, and I kind of expected it. We're just trying to get some. They were trying to get some passing yards. So, I played it good. I would just say bad eyes on my driving phase of my bail, and I just missed time to jump. And luckily, Tanner was there to save me. I sent him about 50 texts of how much I love him and just thank him for making that play because he saved me on that one. I just missed time to jump. He saved me. That's all there is to it.
Fair enough. I also wanted to ask you, this is the third straight week you'll face a fairly mobile quarterback. I know you guys have experience playing against Fafita from last year's game. What are you expecting?
Definitely a lot of pass. We know that they like to pass, but with our D line this year, I really trust that we're going to get a lot of pressure home. Keeping the quarterback in the pocket so he can't do a lot of scrambling, that'll be a big help for us. But with our secondary, just trusting our eyes and our technique and everything we've worked on to just be assignment sound and technique sound. If we do that, I feel like we'll be in a really good spot to come out with a win.
Evan, you impressed everyone with your pick six, obviously, but against Colorado, a lot of people were impressed by the way you could come up and lay the wood and hit guys, especially with your experience on offense and not having a lot of experience on defense. How have you developed that, and how much pride do you take on laying big hits to opposing offenses?
I mean, I feel like G has really helped me with my mindset on the defensive side of the ball. Coming as a receiver, your mindset kind of has to change into a defensive perspective. So I feel like he's helped me a lot with that. And then just kind of feel like as my confidence has gone up with my technique and my abilities, that's kind of just came with it, trusting that or just knowing that I have to do that and just making plays. It's fun.
Yeah, Evan, just take us through kind of midway through the season. You've taken over as a starter this year. How do you feel you've performed overall?
Yeah, I feel like I performed pretty good. I feel like there's a lot of things I could still clean up in my technique that'll help me elevate to the next level. But overall, I feel like I've come a long way in my technique and I trust my abilities on the field. And at the time, I told my mom this the other day, I'm just having fun with the game and enjoying the time out there and the opportunity and trusting in my abilities. So I feel good and I'm just excited to continue battling with every receiver I get to go against.
Yeah, Evan, what's the kind of the chatter on the team now that the schedule seemingly looks to be uh, more difficult? The kind of the level of competition amps up beginning this week at Arizona.
I feel like there's not really a change in like chatter or anything. You know, we approach every game like, it's like it's the Super Bowl or the championship. We're taking our film study serious, we're taking our practice serious, every little thing, whether that's a walkthrough, meeting in the morning to get some extra film in, all those little things we take into account. So I feel like not a lot of things have changed. It's just us needing to be consistent in what we're doing and to continue just thriving as a team.
All right. Do we have any others for Evan? Okay, looks like you're good to go, Evan. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Yes, I'm gonna get this one out of the way right now. Are you a new dad yet?
No, not yet. Just yeah, soon I hope. So yeah, Hallie's due on Wednesday. So we'll yeah, crossing our fingers that it's Wednesday. Very
Also
excited.
wanted to, absolutely exciting time. Also wanted to ask you, just in terms of that fake field goal on Saturday, how exciting was that? And do you feel like you may have scored had that block been set up just a tad bit faster?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. We've had that one dialed up for a little bit now. So no, it was good to go out and play my role in the team and get the first down. And yeah, humbly, I think I would have maybe got to the end zone, but we'll we'll see. Maybe in the future we'll run it again and we'll see what happens.
I was going to ask about the fake field goal too. How many times do you think you guys have repped that? You said you've had it kind of in your back pocket for a while. Like, take us through kind of the preparation that goes in to pull that off.
Yeah, every practice we've sort of just ran it. Each field goal period we always run it once or twice just to make sure it's up to scratch for when we do eventually run it in a game. And just on the weekend it was the perfect look for what we're sort of after for that particular fag. And so yeah, we just went out and gave it a crack and executed it. So it was good.
Yeah, Sam, I wanted to ask you about your ability to get the ball to check up and pin a defense deep. How much work does that take? Well, what's the key in doing that? And maybe how does your past experience with Australian rules football help in that regard?
Yeah, it's a good question. Just lots of reps, obviously. I know it's a very cliche answer, but lots of reps. Just understanding that the rotation and the trajectory of the ball and what it does for the bounce. Obviously with a little bit more spin and more height, it's more likely to check up and bounce favorably for us. So that's kind of what goes into it. And then obviously with the background with the Australian rules football, just understanding where on the ball to hit to have more of a chance for it to bounce backwards and not skip forward into the end zone. I pride myself on, and well, I hate hitting touchbacks, so I pride myself on just really making sure that we can keep that ball in, and it sets up our defense with favorable position to get the ball back for our offense eventually.
Next question from Kyle Ireland.
Sam, each of the last two games, you've seen Will miss a couple of field goals now. What's Will's mindset like? He earlier this season talked about how he's able to really lock in on kicks, one kick at a time. What have you seen from him that allows him to have that mindset, especially now that he's missed a couple of kicks?
Yeah, nothing different. It's the same as if he had have made him. So that's what makes Will really special, is that he's pretty even keeled and unfathomable, I guess. So yeah, nothing sort of changed in terms of the mental process. It's just the old one of one and just going out and trusting in your abilities. And Will knows that he's one of the best kickers in the country. So it's just about going out and believing in that and executing when your name's called. So
Sam, I've been wanting to ask you a little about your background in Aussie rules football for quite some time because it's not a sport that's super well known here in the States. I mean, the little bit that I know about is it seems kind of like rugby on a cricket ground in some ways. So can you just give sort of like a little bit of a brief primer into Aussie rules football and like it feels like we're seeing a lot of both Aussies and Kiwis that are coming over to college football that have kind of that background, especially as punters and kickers. So is there kind of something there that sort of helps translate really well to college football?
Yeah, the two biggest things that probably translate over to the American game is the operation time. So just having the ability to get the ball hand to foot really fast if I have to is probably something that I've taken from Australian rules football. And then obviously in the game of Australian rules football, you're moving it by foot. So unlike soccer where you move it by foot on the ground, it's catch, kick, kind of like that Aussie rule stuff that I've sort of been displaying a little bit in games is very similar to Australian football. It's almost identical, just a little bit different where in Australian rules football, you're really focusing on accuracy, whereas with punting, obviously, there's a bit more of an emphasis on power and distance and things like that. So just changing a few little fundamentals to create more of that while also trying to be as accurate as possible. So yeah, that's probably the game itself's a lot more intricate than that. It's very continuous, high octane and violent, I would say, but the fundamental aspect of punting and kicking is kind of the same in both sports.
Sam, I'm curious, second season here at BYU, just what have been your thoughts on just the BYU experience so far when you transferred from Pitt? Has it been everything you hoped for? Just your thoughts on just settling in and being BYU's starting punter and just living here in Provo?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I've made no secret that I do love it here a lot. It's a bit different from my background, obviously culturally, with the church and the faith and things like that. But I think I've just really bought into it and allowed myself to be open-minded, and I think that it's allowed me to really enjoy the experience. And I love Kalani and Coach Pop and all the rest of the coaches and the boys. So I think it's allowed me to just enjoy punting and take it pretty cruisy, and it's allowed me to sort of go out and perform. And yeah, I'm just excited to try and keep building and just do my part for the team for us to be successful.
And to follow up on that, when you were transferring to BYU, you brought up the church piece. Was that kind of like a area where you needed some like clarification? Like, what am I allowed to do? Just kind of tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't know anything. So I didn't know that there was an honor code. I didn't know anything about the church or anything really, to be honest. In fact, I didn't even know what really BYU was. So yeah, it also is kind of a blessing though in a way, because I was so like intrigued by it. And I think being a little bit older and having a bit more life experience, I was very open to experiencing a new culture and a new way of living. And yeah, I love it. So it's been fantastic. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.